Well, hello, and welcome to Stop. Let's Team Up My Legion Adventure, episode 34. And today this is a big one. This is one I've read a lot. Okay, I've read this comic in various reprint firms and in this archive. It's the last one in Archive 2. We're moving on to Archive 3. It's a great comic. It introduces a character who in later years becomes much bigger than you would ever thought she would be from this. And some changes are coming, and the introduction of a villain without seeing the villain quite yet. We don't see the villain for a while, but let's just get down to the data and the synopsis, and then I'm going to talk to you what I think about this comic. Adventure Comics 317, cover date February 1964. We're inching closer and closer to my birth. Cover credit, Kurt Swan, penciler, George Klein, inker, letterer, Irish Schnapp. It is an incredible costume cover. It's got the little Adventure Comics box featuring Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. I love that box. I would love a t-shirt with just that on it. I may have to look for that on Redbubble or somewhere, because I love that. I really do love seeing that. And on the cover is Superboy flying down to a planet. There's an Aurora Borealis above the head of Dream Girl, and there is Lightning Lad, Bouncing Boy, Shrinking Violet, and Ultra Boy turned into kids, all saying kid-like stuff. And the title of the comic is a featuring of the menace of Dream Girl. Superboy saying, "Dream Girl, what happened to these Legionnaires? They've become children." Dream Girl, "Why, yes, Superboy. Rays from the Aurora have changed them into Lightning Tot, Bouncing Baby, Shrinking Child, and Ultra Kid, and soon you will be a super infant." And Lightning Lad says, "Me want my mommy." Bouncing Boy, "Look, pretty colors." Shrinking Violet is sitting there playing in the sand, and Ultra Boy goes, "Wah, me hungry." It's a very cool 1960s cover. I love it. That'd make a good little poster on the wall. Or someone, see, like Alex Ross. Alex Ross, you're never going to listen to this podcast. If you do, I'd like to see you do a painting version of this cover. I would like to see it in Alex Ross painting his realistic paintings. The name of the story is The Menace of Dream Girl. It's an 18-pager. Well, and a great 18-pager. Part 1 is called The Menace of Dream Girl, as I'm discovering. We're discovering that the first chapter is always the title of the comic, and the other is something different. And the second part is called Doom of the Legion. Editor, plotter, Mort Weisinger. Plotter, scripter, Edmund Hamilton. Penciler, inker, the amazing John Forte. Letterer, Milton Snappin. Roll call: Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, Brainiac 5, Shrinking Violet, Superboy, Mon-El, Matter Eater Lad, Saturn Girl, Triplicate Girl, Chameleon Boy, Sun Boy, Bouncing Boy, Phantom Girl, Invisible Kid, Colossal Boy, Element Lad, Star Boy, yay, a Starman family, Star Boy, Ultra Boy, Light Lass, and Dream Girl. And I said Light Lass, and that's, if you haven't read it, if you're listening to this, I'm assuming you read it, this is the issue where she becomes Light Lass. Other characters that appear: Ron Qatar, some doubles, cameos by some of the, some of them are just cameos. Colossal Boy, Element Lad, Invisible Kid, Phantom Girl. Their faces on a screen when they vote. So here's the synopsis. Saturn Girl calls a meeting to discuss the Time Trapper in his Iron Curtain of Time and to examine applicants for membership. The male members go wild over one gorgeous candidate, Dream Girl of Naltor, who has the ability to accurately predict future events. She successfully demonstrates this power and is voted into the group by the boys over the girls' objection. Although she displays conscientiousness by studying the Legion's organization, particularly its constitution, she also exhibits an insufferable conceit. One by one, Lightning Lass, whose power is short-circuited when an electrical generator explodes, Triplicate Girl, Lightning Lad, Ultra Boy, Shrinking Violet, Bouncing Boy, and Matter Leader are expelled or suspended from the group after she tricks them into violating various clauses in the Legion Constitution. Starboy is the only one to maintain complete faith in her, and she eventually admits to him that she foresaw the deaths of the expelled members in a rocket explosion, and joined the group to remove them and save their lives. He explains that she actually saw the deaths of lifeless android doubles, and so the members she tricked are reinstated. Lightning Lass learns that Dream Girl has used Naltarian science to have the electrical explosion change her powers to that of making things super light. Since her original abilities duplicated her brother's, Dream Girl resigns to to perfect her own ability further, leaving Starboy, who loves her, hoping that she'll return someday. So that is, I mean, that's a lot. You could just tell by that lovely synopsis. I hope you like my new read. I know, I'm trying to be slower, so I'm not killing you with speed. Evelyn Wood speed reading. But there's a lot going on. One, it's the introduction of Dream Girl, who will come back years later in my favorite, one of my probably my favorite Silver Age Legion comic. It's the one where Superboy and Supergirl are expelled and replaced with Surprise and Mysterious. It's a great two-parter by Jim Shooter and Kurt Swan and George Klein. It is probably, utterly my favorite Legion story of that era. But there's a lot in this. Again, the John Forte art is good. I mean, we've got a lot of characters, and they're all very distinct, and I keep saying that, but it's nice. There's some silly 60s stuff in it, the guys are it's sexist as hell in a lot of ways. The guys bring her to Shay's lounge so she can lean on when she sleeps and dreams her future, reads the future or sees the future. We get a little bit of origin from Starboy, and he's madly in love with her. We see that he was built on a space observatory, and that's how he got the ability to make things super heavy. We see some crazy future things. We also see a time bubble we see Mon-El and Superboy trying to fly all the way to where the Time Trapper's hiding in the far future, but there is the Iron Curtain of Time, which will be a big thing. Time Trapper doesn't even show up for ages. Hold on, let me check my trusty notes. When does he come in? But he becomes like huge, and they do great things with him, and then they do really dumb things with him, in my opinion. But when we get to the dumb things, that I'll tell you when I think which ones I think are silly, and you can tell me which ones you think are silly. Hopefully, again, reach out to us. I would love some input. All right, the notes in the Amazing Legion of Superhero Index: the Time Trapper. First appearance as the Time Trapper, formerly identified as the Time Master, revealed in the story outside formal DC continuity. Super Friends 17. I'm going to have to read that. I did not know that. Last scene is in Wonder Woman 101. I did not know that. I'm going to go do some homework, and we're going to talk about that. I will have to look that up. But that's cool. But, he's a big one in Legion. But, they fawn on over, and then the standard Edmund Hamilton plot of, the new member or a member does something, and all these things happen that they cause, and then at the end you find out they were trying to do something else. So it's the same puzzle, different pieces. I'm really seeing the pattern more, because I'm talking out loud about it. But I think it's a gorgeous comic. I think there's a lot of good stuff coming on in it. I love Dream Girl. Dream Girl in the 80s, when around the Great Darkness saga, and I think a little before that, I think Levitz liked her as a character, and I think other writers from time to time used her. But she gets elected leader in the future. Spoilers. When I will be very old by the time we get to Levitz Legion. I will probably jump ahead and cover some arcs, just for my own entertainment. But she becomes leader. She becomes much more prominent in the book, and she is for 4 or 5 years. Because that's what happens in a team this big, is certain generations, some other characters are more popular. I think Mon-El's bigger in the 60s and the 70s. I think Timberwolf is big, and Wildfire in the early 70s, and Dawnstar. It all gears toward them. I'm a big fan. As much as I love all this is stuff I went back to read. I got really hooked from I was reading regularly from 198 up, Superboy 198 up. But my era is the Levitz Giffen era, pretty much starting when it's Levitz Broderick. And so, I'm a big Block, White Witch, Second Invisible Kid. They're my faves. And on top, an Element Lad. The Element Lad of this version of Legion is the greatest Legionnaire of all for me. He's the bee's knees. But he doesn't have a lot to do in this era. See, we're not seeing a lot of him. Okay, that makes me want to stop and do a little roll call. So I'm going to pause here, and then I'm going to pull up my little cheat sheet, and I'm going to give you a roll call as of now. We haven't done this in a while, so I kind of want to stop and do that. All right, so here we go. Leader, Satin Girl, Cosmic Boy, Triplicate Girl, Phantom Girl, Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, Invisible Kid, Brainiac 5, Supergirl, Superboy, Ultra Boy, Star Boy, Shrinking Violet, Sun Boy, Bouncing Boy, Mon-El, Matter Eater Lad, Element Lad, Light Lass, Lightning Lad, and introducing Dream Girl. Okay, that's what we got going as of right now, and after it's different, it's going to be Leader, Saturn Girl, Cosmic Boy, Triplicate Girl, Phantom Girl, Dual Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, Invisible Kid, Brainiac 5, Supergirl, Superboy, Ultra Boy, Star Boy, Shrinking Violet, Sun Boy, Bouncing Boy, Mon-El, Matter Eater Lad, Element Lad, Light Lass, Lightning Lad, and no Dream Girl. So that all takes place. All those changes. There's some changes in there. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We are at 21 and at 20 in one issue. And that's kind of cool. It's a good lineup. I'm going to put together, probably not today, but my new Legion monitor board to reflect those two things and fiddle with that. I'm terrible at Photoshop and blah, blah, blah. So bear with me. It's basic, but it's kind of fun for me as a nerd. So that's a lineup. So, and there are Elements Lad in there. Some guys get used a lot. It was nice to see Matter Eater Lad had a bigger part in the story, as did, Dream Girl and and Starboy. So, in Starboy's got a lot to do with it. That was good. So, overall, great lineups. And we'll do, I might get Jim to come on and we'll just do, we'll do a couple different lineups, and talk about them, compare, maybe do the original and the reboot, and then do the 3-boot and some whatever aspect of that. We were discussing some of that in the New 52, and the other stuff confuses me. But let's get back to the comic we're covering. It's a really solid comic, 18 pages, lots of clues. So if you're like a 10-year-old kid in 1964 and you're following along, Matter Eater Lad, he thinks he's figured out it's Chameleon Boy, but that was all a ploy to get him kicked out. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I think it's kind of cool. And I like that an important issue is also just a silly, fun comic book. We're still in that era of 60s optimism, and I had a rough day. Something tragic happened to someone I know and I think highly of, and I was like a little out of sorts. And reading that simple, silly, frivolous little superhero comic book from the early 60s, took the cloud away. And that's kind of what comics are for. I've been sitting here been in a Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch, enjoying that. I got a Doctor Who Abominable Snowman animated cartoon. Absolutely great stuff for mental health for me. I'm going to sit here with my fat cats and my stupid pound dog, and I'm going to read a Doctor Who book for another podcast I'm guesting on, and do some all-star comics from the 70s. Just lighten my day, and that's what this comic did. Thursday, it's chapters 5 and 6 of the Avengers Defenders War in Defenders number 9, I think. I don't care if I'm wrong. So, looking forward to that. And then this weekend, I will drop the episode that me and Jim recorded this past Friday. It's a lot of editing. Icky. So, that's your Saturday is more Legion. We're going to talk Legion origin stories. And I did a poll on Legion. Or on artists, and the choices were John Forte, Steve Light, David Anthony Kraft. I spelled Kraft wrong. I feel so stupid. And Steve Englehart, and the winner was Steve Lytle. So we're going to talk about him. I've asked somebody to come on and talk about him. I'm going to put up people give me their opinions on him as an artist. I think he's amazing, so I can't wait to talk about it. Very a little more Legion-centric thing. But that's what's going on. One last thing, please check us out on Twitter at JSA4E. That is JSA, the letter E. We're also on Instagram. I'm going to try to be more active on those things to attract audience. If you like this, please like and give us a review on Apple Podcast or your podcasting system, of both, or on all of them. I know when I give a good review on one, I do it also on Spotify, and that's about it. And sometimes Stitcher. I'm not on Stitcher now. I really become kind of all my noise in one spot, which is Spotify, other than my audiobooks. And leave us a good review. If you're following on YouTube, please do like, subscribe, click that bell, watch as many as you can. I'm trying to build up a base on that. I have the equipment. Me and wife are just kind of slow to find time in our hectic lives. She's trying to get a computer to work to help do the video editing and assist me on that, because I don't think she knows that will drive me crazy. So we're going to try to do some more of that. I'm going to try to record one this weekend about comics I've read, or about some of the hardcovers I've bought, and just talk about those and try to test drive that as a video with me talking, see if you guys can deal with my ugly mug. But that's enough. That please like, subscribe, send me your comments, give me suggestions for stuff to cover, and remember, be safe, be smart, be kind, tell people that you care about that you do so they know it, and read some comics.